Assalamu alaikum. I hope you all are fine. Today we are going to start English class 9. आज हम start करने जा रहे हैं unit number 2, role model. We'll start unit 2.1 Shah Abdul Latif. आज हम शाह अब्दुल लतीफ़ लेसन की कुछ एक्सरसाइज सॉल्व करेंगे. Exercise number 1. A. How many aspects of Shah Abdul Latif's life have been covered in the text? अब कितने एस्पेक्ट कवर किए गए हैं इस कॉम्प्रिहेंशन में? आंसर, देयर आर 7 एस्पेक्ट्स ऑफ शाह अब्दुल लतीफ्स लाइफ हैव बीन कवर्ड इन द टेक्स्ट. इस लेसन में, इस टेक्स्ट में 7 एस्पेक्ट्स कवर किए गए हैं. बी, लिस्ट ऑल दीज एस्पेक्ट्स इन योर नोटबुक एज शोन बिलो. अब जो भी 7 एस्पेक्ट हैं आपको बताना है वो कौन कौन से एस्पेक्ट्स हैं. Following are the aspects of Shah Abdul Latif's life. The first aspect is about his background and family. The second aspect is about his name, Bhittai. The third aspect is about his early life and education. The fourth aspect is about his youth. The fifth aspect is about his spiritual growth. The sixth aspect is about his death and remembrance. The seventh aspect is about Shah Latif's poetry. Exercise number 2, vocabulary. The words given in bold below have been taken from the text. Look up these words in the text and underline them. Next, do the following exercise. Underline the correct answers from the choices provided. The first one has been done as an example. अब आपको ये MCQs दी गए, ऑप्शंस दी गए. हर स्टेटमेंट में एक बोल्ड या हाईलाइटेड वर्ड है. जैसे नंबर 1 में है, those who have an abundance of wealth have dash. अब आप देख सकते हैं ये वर्ड बोल्ड है, abundance. तो ये वर्ड आपकी इस कॉम्प्रिहेंशन में शाह अब्दुल लतीफ में यूज हुआ है. तो आपको बताना है इसकी मीनिंग क्या है. या सिंपली आप ये भी कह सकते हैं कि आपको 3 ऑप्शंस हैं और आपको बताना है कि कौन सा वर्ड है जिसकी मीनिंग इसके सिमिलर है या सेम है. तो ये फर्स्ट ऑप्शन तो किया गया है. आंसर इज बी, अ लॉट ऑफ वेल्थ. अबंडेंस मींस अ लॉट ऑफ वेल्थ. 3 ऑप्शन हैं. ए, लिटिल वेल्थ. बी, अ लॉट ऑफ वेल्थ. सी, सम वेल्थ. बहुत सारी वेल्थ होना, इसका मतलब है अबंडेंस. का बी ऑप्शन इज करेक्ट. नंबर 2, माई फैमिलीज एंसेस्ट्रल रूट्स. अब देखिए ये वर्ड जो बोल्ड है, एंसेस्ट्रल रूट्स. अब इसका आपको बताने मीनिंग क्या है. माई फैमिलीज एंसेस्ट्रल रूट्स आर इन सिंध मीन्स माई पेरेंट्स, ग्रैंड पेरेंट्स एंड great grandparents have lived in Sindh since dash. A, my grandparents got married. B, my birth. C, many generations. Correct option is C, many generations. Ancestral roots का जो correct answer इसकी meaning है या similar meaning है या synonym भी आप कह सकते हैं, वो है many generations. Number 3, the new academic year commences in our school in April. अब commences की meaning क्या है? A, ends. B, progress. C, begins. Correct option is C, begins, start होना. Number 4, the devotees of some saints walk to shrines barefoot. अब devotees की meaning आपको बतानी है और ये word भी आपकी comprehension में use हुआ है. A, children. B, followers. C, caretakers. Devotees का correct option है B, followers. Devotees means followers, अकीदतमंद. Number 5, many people go to a mystic to ask for the fulfillment of their wishes. A, people who lives alone. B, new person. C, person with spiritual power. तो mystic की meaning है C option, person with spiritual power. Number 6, the sailors of Sindh used to travel too far off lands as they had good navigation skills. Navigation skills की meaning क्या है? Number A, ship directing. B, engineering. C, swimming. Correct option is A, ship directing. Number 7, for centuries, The main medium for transfer of information was oral traditions. Oral traditions की meaning क्या होगी? A. Horses. B. Passing of information by word of mouth. C. Messages. Correct option है passing of information by word of mouth. पहले जब information नहीं होती थी, books नहीं होती थी या printing press जो नहीं थी, तो जो information थी या जो भी stories या जो भी बातें होती थी, communication वो हम ज़बानी करते थे, oral. तो oral tradition means passing of information by word of mouth, जो हम ज़बानी कहते थे. 8. My brother is a restless person, always looking for new things to do. Restless की मीनिंग क्या है? A. Genius. B. Different. C. Change seeking. Correct option is change seeking. Restless means बेचैन होना, rest ना करना, तो change seeking. Number 9. Truly great persons deserve reverence as they play a positive role in our lives. Number 9 है, I repeat, truly great persons deserve reverence as they play a positive role in our lives. A. Richness and wealth. B. Leadership positions. C. Respect and admiration. Reverence की meaning है respect and admiration. C option is correct. Number 10, Islam's message of peace is universal, as without it there can be no happiness. अब universal meaning क्या है? A. Good. B. Applicable to all the people in the world. C. Acceptable. So B option is correct. Applicable to all the people in the world. Universal. जो पूरी दुनिया में या सब लोगों के लिए applicable हो. Exercise number 3. Work in pairs and complete the sentences below with the word written in bold in exercise number 2. You can use one word only once. Write a complete sentences in a notebook. अब जो exercise 2 में statement में bold word use हुए हैं, उन्हीं में से आपको आंसर select करके exercise number 3 में blanks complete करने हैं. Number 1, the devotees of Shah Bhittai celebrate his goods every year. अब devotees word जो है वो exercise 2 में use हुआ है statements में. Number 2, my mother and I decided to go to a mystic to ask him to pray for my father's health. Number 3, it is a universal fact that no living thing can survive without oxygen. Number 4, much of what we know about our culture has been passed on to us through oral traditions. Number 5, we may have different ancestral roots, but we are all the offspring of Adam. Number 6, fasting commences on the first day of Ramadan. Number 7, Pakistan has everything in abundance, but we need strong policies to make good use of everything that we have. Number 8, Nelson Mandela won his people's reverence for his long struggle for the rights of people in South Asia. Number 9, the art of restless requires hard work and one needs to practice a lot to write beautifully. Number 10, the Pakistan Navy has very good navigation skills. Exercise number 4, the reading text has 7 aspects that relate to Shah Latif. The following sentences state one key point covered under each aspect. However, these sentences are in a jumbled up order. Read the text and write the aspect number in the blanks provided. The last one has been done for you as an example. अब ये 7 aspects हैं, 7 statements हैं. तो कोई statement किसी aspect में है, कोई statement किसी aspect में, और 7 aspects हमने पढ़े हैं. तो अब मैं statement पढ़ूंगा जो जिस aspect में ये use हुआ है वो हम aspect number लिखेंगे. ये statement है वो jumble order में, sequence में नहीं है 1 2 3. Now you can see the answers. A, he found pleasure in praying, thinking and devotion. जो number 5th aspect है उसमें ये use हुआ है sentence. 5th aspect है spiritual growth. Number B, he was married for a short period of time only. अब ये 4th aspect में use हुआ है वो है youth. C. Shah Latif's forefather migrated to Sindh from Afghanistan. ये ये sentence use हुआ aspect number one, background and family. Number D. A shrine was built over his grave sometime after his death. ये D statement है aspect number 6, that and remembrance may use why. Number E, his poetry is mainly about Sindh, but off places are also mentioned. Seventh aspect है जो उसमें ये statement use हुई है, Shah Latif's poetry. F statement, he loved studying and had a command over other languages. अब ये statement है third aspect जो है early life and education. Number G is he is called Bhittai because he spent a good part of his life on a mound. Second aspect में ये statement use है और second aspect है the name Bhittai. Exercise number 5. Read the text and find the following information. Or write down these things in your notebook. After you have completed, discuss your answers with your partner. Okay, so now you have to find out answers of these questions from the given text. Number 1, 2 things done at the time of Urs as mentioned in the text. अब दो चीजें आपको लिखनी जो उर्स में होती हैं शाह लतीफ के उर्स में. Number 1, thousands of people gather and listen to the sad song sung on the tamburo. Number 2, many learned men read papers that tell about Latif's life and his poetry. अब ये दोनों जो पॉइंट्स हैं जो इंफॉर्मेशन हमें टेक्स्ट में से मिलती है. Number 2, 2 possible reasons why his ancestors migrated to Sindh. Answer, reasons due to which Shah Latif's ancestor migrated to Sindh. Number 1, the Shah's father, Sayyid Habib Shah, migrated from Macharu, his ancestral home in Afghanistan, to Bhanpur in Sindh in order to gain spiritual contact with Bilawal, a local pious man. Number 2, his ancestors migrated to Sindh from Herat, Sindh, and then Herat was a center of Muslim culture, and Shah Latif's ancestor liked it so much that they decided to make it their home. Number 3, the other 2 languages that he knew quite well. He knows a lot of languages, but 2 languages you need to write. 2 other languages that Shah Latif knew well. Number 1, Arabic. Number 2, Persian. Question number 4, the 2 main religious sources that he had knowledge about. Answer, the 2 main religious sources that Shah Abdul Latif had knowledge about. Number 1, Holy Quran. Number 2, Hadith. Fifth, 2 poets whose work were a part of his collection. Answer, 2 poets whose work were a part of Shah Latif's collection. Number 1, Maulana Jalaluddin Rumi. Number 2, Shah Karim. Question number 6, 2 skills for which he is known. Answer, 2 skills for which Shah Latif is known. A, poet. Number 2, Sufi saint. Number 7 question, 2 places in Afghanistan mentioned in his poetry. Answer, 2 places in Afghanistan mentioned in his poetry. Number 1, Kabul. Number 2, Kandahar. Question number 8, 2 places in India mentioned in his poetry. Answer, 2 places in India mentioned in his poetry are. Number 1, Delhi. Number 2, Deccan. Number 9, 2 languages mentioned in which the Risalo has been translated. Answer, 2 languages in which the Risalo has been translated. Number 1, English. Number 2, Urdu. Exercise number 6, question answers. A, how was information about Shah Latif's early life collected? Why was it collected in this manner? अब इस question में 2 parts हैं. Answer is, information about the life of Bhittai has mostly been collected from oral traditions because at that time the information of history or the past people were passed by words of mouth from one generation to another. So a renowned Pakistani scholar, educationist, and writer of plays, dramas, and stories Mirza Khalid Bey is said to have collected details about the early life of Shah Bhittai from some of the old people living at that time. These people had heard these facts from their fathers and grandfathers, some of whom had seen Shah Latif in person and had even spoken to him. Question number B. Why is Shah Latif called the Sant of Bhit? Answer. In 1742, Shah Latif left his home and went to live on a mount at some distance from his village. A mount of sand is called Bhit in Sindhi due to the fact that he lived on this mount for the rest of his life. Shah Latif came to be known as Sant of Bhit. To this day, he is famous all over the country as Shah Abdul Latif Bhittai or Shah Latif of the Mount. C question. Why did Shah Latif not marry again after his wife died? Answer. In 1713, the Sufi poet married with Bibi Saida Begum. His wife died at an early age before she could have any children. However, Shah never married again. After the death of his wife, his heart turned more and more towards religion and devotion, and he felt restless, and he found it difficult to live a normal domestic life. D. Why did people become Shah Latif's followers? Answer. Latif's love of God grew more and more to the extent that he found pleasure only in devotion. As a result, he spent most of his time in prayers and deep thinking. His spiritual power grew stronger with prayers and devotion so much so that people began to be attracted towards him. Anyone who came to see him was strongly impressed by his gentle ways and became his devotees. In this way, his followers increased day by day. Number E question. What does Sharati's poetry and work tell us about his knowledge and skills? Answer. Shah Abdul Latif was a sensitive, gentle, and kind soul. He was a Sufi in the true senses of the word. Besides its simplicity, one great quality of Latif's poetry is its moving music. The word Latif literally means fine, delicate, tender, elegant, and light. This meaning is truly reflected in both his poetry and his personality. His poetic nature loved the calm atmosphere and our spiritual and mystic. Moreover, he was the poet of the people, so he wrote in the language of the common man. Number F, name the places in the text mentioned in Shah Latif's poetry. Why do you think these places have been mentioned by him? In this poem, he writes mainly about Sindh and its neighboring regions. However, he also mentions distant cities such as Istanbul, Turkey, and Samarkand, Uzbekistan, China, Rome, Kabul, and Kandahar, Afghanistan, Delhi, and Deccan, India. He mentioned these places because he talks about Sindhi sailors, Samudi, their navigation techniques, and their voyages as far as the Malabar coast, Sri Lanka, and the island of Java, and all other places. G. Why is Shah Latif's key message in his verses acceptable to everyone? Answer. His spiritual and mystic poetry carries a message of love, which makes it universal and acceptable to the entire human race. Shah Abdul Latif Bhittai is and always will be remembered for his great poetry with love and reverence. Number 8, can we put his message into practice in today's world? If yes, how? If no, why not? Answer, yes, we put Latif's message into practice in today's world because his message is the message of love, believe in brotherhood and equality of man, and in pleasing God by good deeds. This, according to him, is the goal of life. Now, these were 6 exercises that we solved today of Unit 2.1 Shah Abdul Latif Bhittai. I hope you understand this. आपको ये समझ में आई होगी. अगर आपको कोई भी डिफिकल्टी है तो आप कमेंट में हमें ज़रूर बताएं. अपना ख्याल रखें. अल्लाह हाफिज़.